Hey, how's it going everyone? I am the one and only Count Jinsula, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about Niantic's premier event, Pokémon GO Fest. Yes, it is going to be happening this year, but it looks like they are planning to switch a few things up. This is pretty exciting and I do want to talk about it here, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, so let's dive into it. Niantic recently announced that Pokémon GO Fest is going to be happening this summer, and it looks like they are going to shake up the overall event format. First and foremost, they announced what dates are going to be related to Pokémon GO Fest, as well as the location for any in-person events. On Saturday, June 4th, 2022, and Sunday, June 5th, 2022, we are going to get the global event that will be available to everyone who purchases a ticket. On Friday, July 1st until Sunday, July 3rd, there will be an in-person event at Berlin, Germany. On July 22nd until July 24th, there will be an in-person event in the United States at Seattle, Washington. And on August 5th until August 7th, there will be one more in-person event in Sapporo, Japan. Now, all three of these in-person events will likely be the exact same, much like when Niantic did the 3 in-person Go Fests back in 2019. However, we do not know yet if the global event will run the same, or if the in-person events will have additional perks. Also, there will be one more finale event happening on Saturday, August 27th. We don't have a direct confirmation yet, but it looks like it will be global and not happening in a specific location. Now, out of all of these dates, I want to put a spotlight on the global event happening at the beginning of this Go Fest season. I'm actually quite surprised by this, considering that Niantic has been slowly rolling back some of the temporary changes that they implemented as a response to the pandemic. One of those changes was, of course, making their premier in-game events like Pokémon GO Fest playable from anywhere. Considering that Niantic has been recently pushing more community-based outdoor play, you would think that they would shift Go Fest, their biggest event of the year, to fall in line with that philosophy. Honestly, I was really worried that this would be the year where they would make Go Fest only available in set locations like how it was before. Yet, it seems like the Go Fest global format that we all enjoyed these past couple of years is going to stay. But yeah, aside from this one thing being a constant from last year, next let's talk about what is going to be changing this time around. I have to first mention that we do not have any details regarding gameplay. Every year, Niantic seems to follow a gameplay format of hourly rotating habitats, bundled with a special research that requires you to actively play in pretty much every aspect of the game. I honestly don't think this will change, at least for the first day of the event. However, I do think they will give us something different for the second day, as they typically focus on one particular aspect of Pokemon Go for the whole day. In 2020, we had a Team Go Rocket emphasis on the second day, and last year was all about raiding. This year, I am predicting that the second day of Go Fest is going to be all about the Go Battle League. The reason why I think this is going to be the case is because there has been a strong emphasis on polishing and fixing the Go Battle League in this current season. It's almost like they are setting up the Go Battle League for something big. Sure, there is the World Championships that will be happening for the first time this year, but I don't think it is the only reason why Niantic is trying to get battling in Pokemon Go into such a polished state. Also, I don't think they are going to repeat stuff they have already done in past Go Fests. It will feel repetitive and boring if they were to have another Team Go Rocket Day or a raiding day. I really do think they are aiming to switch it up every time. Now, another change with this year's Pokémon GO Fest is that this will be the first Go Fest outside of the pandemic that won't be hosting an in-person event in Chicago. This was rather surprising to me, at least in regards to how Niantic views the city where I live. It always felt like Niantic thought of Chicago as sort of the home base for Pokémon GO Fest. Considering that we are pretty much at the center of the United States, it made sense to host an in-person event here from a travel point of view. The Pokemon Go community here in Chicago has also developed a strong relationship with Niantic over the past few years since the first ever Go Fest. I don't think anything had happened that would have soured that relationship, but I'm pretty surprised they decided not to host one of the event dates here just based on that level of communication that they have from the inside. Now, it may seem like I'm bitter that Niantic decided not to have an in-person event in my home city. It's actually not the case at all. I'm really excited for the Pokemon Go community in Seattle to get their first ever in-person Go Fest experience. I actually have a few friends who are part of that community, and you can tell how ecstatic they are about this announcement. I also like the idea of Niantic hosting Go Fest in several different cities all around the world every year, and I do think it would be better for the game overall if they were to bring their best in-game event to different communities. Finally, I want to talk about a third change to Go Fest that is definitely going to generate some interest. For the first time, Niantic is going to have a special finale event at the end of the Go Fest tour, which is the one I mentioned earlier happening on August 27th. I'm very curious to see what is going to be involved with this finale event. There's a lot of potential here for Niantic to do something really cool and have Go Fest be a season-long thing rather than just a weekend. So yeah, these are the notable changes that are going to be happening with Pokemon Go Fest this year. I'm personally really excited for all of this, especially for the fact that Go Fest is going to be accessible regardless of location. I used to feel uneasy about this event being exclusive to Chicago, even though it is my home city. I always felt like Niantic should have opened up Go Fest to other cities around the world, and I'm glad they are doing so. I'm also curious to see how these in-person events will go, seeing as we haven't had an in-person Go Fest in a few years. Hopefully the buzz will be good around these events, and they generate hype for Pokemon Go. Needless to say, I do think Niantic is planning an epic summer through these events. Now before I end this video, I did want to quickly bring up one small concern that I hope Niantic addresses. One of the in-person events is happening in Sapporo, Japan, but what you may not know is that East Asian countries like Japan have some of the strictest travel restrictions right now because of the pandemic. Out of all the 3 in-person events, this one might end up being exclusive to the local population, as it will be quite difficult for outsiders to enter the country to participate. I'm wondering if those restrictions will be lifted by then, but we'll just have to wait and see. If any player is planning to travel and attend all 3 of these in-person events, then this might put a damper on those plans. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. But let me ask you, what are your opinions on Pokemon Go Fest 2022? Is there a particular in-person event that you plan to attend? And are you okay with the changes? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support this channel in any way, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. But yeah, that's going to be it. Once again, I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.